Today's play is the single source sprint. You're going to leave with one action that you can start in 5 minutes. In just over 1 hour per week, I'm going to show you how you can be in the top 5% of sales managers in this episode. Welcome to This is the Play. It's a solo show on AI and sales where every episode gives you one named play and one action in 5 you can implement today. Information is easy to find with AI. What's rare is a tactic you can use now. I'm Stephen Worley, and I build simple systems that clean up pipelines, lift show and close rates, and shorten sales cycles. Let's get you something practical. All right, so as normal, there will be links in the notes to get all the assets to everything on the show that we talk about today. And I just want to open up by saying there's really two versions of the truth that kill momentum: an untrusted CRM and drifting side sheets. We all work with different sales folks that have their own way to track things and they don't use the CRM. And then sometimes the CRM's just not set up correctly. So that's, one thing that will absolutely kill your momentum in your sales cycle. If you have dirty data, you're going to have bad decisions, miss follow-ups, and the forecasts are just pure fantasy at that point. There's nothing that is really going to help. Today, we're going to focus on choosing one single source of truth and then enforce it with a daily hygiene loop. It takes about 10 minutes to run every day. Sometimes it doesn't even take that long. And like I said, I think this is something that will put you in the top 5% of sales managers. Honestly, I think anyone that's hiring for a sales manager, if you say you're going to do the things that we covered today, you'll probably land the job. Whether you actually execute and succeed, I don't know. But this will set you apart. And the idea is AI is going to do the heavy lifting here too, as always. That's the point. So just to deconstruct this idea a little bit, there's a lot of times within your opportunities, there's missing fields and a lot of stale opportunities that just sit there. It makes reviews of going through the pipeline completely pointless. When you look at data or how many people are sitting in the follow-up stage, it just looks like an absolute mess. That's what we're trying to avoid or fix today. You also have a bunch of shadow sheets. There's multiple errors on that. No one knows which number to trust. Some sales teams still use those Google Sheets to track with. While I see value in sales reps inputting their numbers in those tracking sheets, rarely are they a good source of truth. And that is how a lot of sales teams actually manage their numbers and make decisions. That's not great. Then on the other hand, you just have too many dashboards. That creates paralysis. If you have 3 metrics, that's enough to drive change. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to This is the Play. And today, this is the play. We're in that segment of the show. The first thing that you need to do is choose the single source of truth. And the idea is that I'm going to pitch to you is that needs to be your CRM. So that's the most simple way to run it. And you need to freeze side sheets as read-only and archive them. Get your reps off of the random sheets that are happening there. You need to enforce 7 canonical fields for this to be successful. These 7 fields need to be filled out. You need an owner. It needs a stage. It needs an amount. It needs a close date, a last touch, next action, and confidence level. If you have those 7 stages, that's all you need in order to make this succeed. The next action and date need to be absolutely required. If there's no next step, we're saying that's not a valid opportunity. So if there's one thing that you need to tell your sales team coming out of this, or if you're a rep and you're just doing this yourself, good on you. Thanks for being here. Make sure that you have a next action set on every single opportunity. That's insanely important. And then what we want to do is we want to have 3 core views in order to understand the data. There's going to be a missing next action. So anything that's missing in next action, we can see it so we can fix it, right? Then a stale by when the service level agreement went out, right? Something like that. you're going to have hot within 24 hours, warm 72, and cold 7 days plus. Right. And then you also have a closing this week, which means anything that has a date in the next 7 days. Then what I alluded to earlier is it's going to take about 10 minutes a day to run through this. Now, just over an hour a week because there's an extra weekly review that you'll do. But for a daily status sweep, it takes anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, depending how far along you are in this. It's going to take a little bit longer earlier, and sometimes 3 minutes once your team's cruising and they know the expectations, they understand and believe in the system too. During that daily status sweep is you're going to fix any missing next steps. You're going to add those in there with your team. You're going to touch all the stale opportunities and see where there's opportunity to move things along. You can check out some of last week's episodes for ideas to move opportunities along. Then you're going to close out any of the junk, which means anything that's just not going to close. You've been ghosted for, 45 days and whatnot. They need to be in a loss stage and need some general nurturing over time to stay in front in case they come back on the radar. But to put a ton of time into those folks or leave them as a close that's going to happen anytime soon, let's be realistic and say that's not going to happen. Then we do a weekly exceptions review, and that takes about 15-20 minutes. So once a week, you discuss only the outliers. And then every decision sets a next action, right? You look at the deals, you look at, hey, this one's different because of this. And then we're still going to set a next action out of that. You're going to do that with your team members, or if you're a rep, you're going to do that with your deals individually. Last but not least, we're going to get a dashboard together with 3 main metrics. It's going to be time to first touch. So how long did it take to get that touch in? The stage to stage days, how much time in between each stage are they sitting, and the win rate by source. If you do this as a sales manager, then you're going to understand why some deals are different. You're going to understand the benefits and the speed to lead. You're going to be able to speak about that very clearly to any CEO. If you're CEO, you need to know these numbers. If you're a VP of sales, you need to know this number. If you're a sales manager, you need to know this. And then ideally, there are sales reps that also need to know. So again, that's time to first touch, the stage to stage days in between, so we can track how long deals are sitting in a stage, and then the win rate by source. All right, and that brings us into the AI sidecar, where we actually give you the prompt to AI enable this. Of course, you could do any of this without AI, but the point of this is to help you do it faster with AI. We don't replace with AI, we enable with AI. So you're going to export a quick table and let GPT run a hygiene audit or whatever AI you prefer to use. I prefer to use ChatGPT. You're going to run a hygiene audit and produce a fix list that you can paste into tasks. So the columns you're going to take, just to make it really clean, you're going to take the idea, the opportunity, the name, the owner, the stage, the amount, the close date, or expected close date, last touch date, the next action date, source, days open, and notes. You might not have all these fields right now, and that's okay, because then everything needs to be fixed, and this is how we get it clean. But the idea is this is going to give you a week to essentially get all those deals having those fields. So a little bit of more work in the beginning. Your reps are going to do a lot of the work. You're going to run everything through. You're going to paste the notes of what happens, what they need to fix. And instead of you manually looking at all of these, you're going to create those fields so they exist. You're going to export them all. And then you're going to upload that into ChatGPT, and you're going to copy and paste this prompt that I'm going to read right now. very simple. I talked week 1 about how to make prompts better. You can make a better prompt than this if you want to. But to be honest, I say keep it simple, stupid on this one. I think this one's straightforward and it will do what you need it to do, because you don't need it to necessarily think a lot. You just need it to understand fact from what's there and what's not, right? So here's the prompt. You are my CRM hygiene assistant. Audit the opportunities in the table below. Columns, op ID, blah, 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 blah. It says all the columns there. So it's just going to audit them. And then you're going to put prompt still going. Tasks. 1, flag records with missing invalid close date, amount, or owner. Missing next action or next action date. Stale by SLA. Hot is greater than 24 hours. Warm greater or equal to 72 hours. Cold greater or equal to 7 days. Infer hot, warm, cold from stage and recent activity and explain it. Potential duplicates. Same company / name with different owners / amounts. 2, for each violator, propose a plain text next action in less than 20 words that advances the deal. 3, pick 10 opportunities to close and recycle with a 1-line reason. You don't have to necessarily do that step if you feel like you don't have a lot. If you have a lot sitting in your pipeline, you can do that. Or you could say, pick 10% of opportunities to close / recycle with a 1-line reason. However you need to adjust that line, you can. And then for output in this order: A, the audit summary, counts by issue. B, a fixed list table, the opportunity ID, issue, and proposed next action. C, close / recycle, which has the opportunity ID and the reason. And then D, suggested save views and filters I should create in the CRM. Constraints, plain English, no hype. Keep each proposed next action less than or equal to 20 words. If the data is unclear, state an assumption instead of hallucinating facts. That's very important. So that is the entire prompt for today, and that's going to allow you to clean up your CRM and get that source of truth the way that you want it. Just a general privacy tip: don't paste any sort of secure info for anyone. And just general guardrails here: don't add any new fields mid-sprint. Just use the 7 canonical fields. Keep the dashboards at 3 metrics. And archive side sheets as read-only, so no split sources. And back up before any bulk edits. So if you take what ChatGPT spit out at you and it gives you a CSV and you upload that, maybe just make sure you have a clean export of your CRM that you can revert back to, just in case you do something incorrectly when you go to update things. That brings me into just the operator note. This is a 14-day plan. Week 1, you're running the audit, which is the prompt we just ran through. You're going to clear the fixed list with your reps, enforce the required fields, and build the views. Then week 2, you're living it, right? You're doing that daily 10 to 15 minute status sweep and 1 20-minute exceptions review. After 14 days, you're going to compare the stage to stage days and no next action count to what you have now. So here's your action in 5. Export today's open opportunity view. Paste in a ChatGPT with the audit prompt that I read out loud and is provided in the show notes, and copy the fixed list into your task queue. Finish, run a 15-minute status sweep today, and schedule it daily. Just to touch on one last thing before my quick outro: review what ChatGPT says. Don't take it for granted. Look over it as the sales manager. That's how we get good results from AI. We double check it and don't trust it blindly. The action in 5 is set. Do it. Tell me what moved. Share it with the world. Everything you need is in the notes.